is the no detriment policy and what does it actually mean?
Oh, okay, so the university took a decision this year to have another no detriment policy that would reflect the challenges and the issues that students and the university might be facing. And so it came up with something that it wanted to be simpler to follow and understand by students. And in a nutshell, it's got two elements to it. The first safety net, as we call it, is where the work that students do for their assessments, those assessments will be compared to the same or very similar assessments that would have been undertaken by students in the 3 years prior to the start of the first lockdown. So that's in the years 16-17, 17-18 and 18-19. And what we're looking for there is to see if the students might have been as a collective disadvantaged when compared to those 3 previous years. And there'll be a bit of maths done, and there'll be an average calculation done for the assessment for the previous 3 years against what the students have achieved this year, this time around. And if the students have got something that's lower as an average, then that difference up to a maximum of 10 will be applied to student marks, so that there is an adjustment or a scaling so that they're more comparable to previous cohorts. So that's the first safety net that we're going to be putting in place. And all of those changes to the marks will be looked at the exam boards in June. The second safety net is around the recognition that even though we are in this unusual situation, that each individual student will have a different challenge. Not every student will be undergoing the same problems and issues and facing the same difficulties. So we have extended our relaxing of the EC system, where there are certain challenges that students might be facing, for example, if they're still a carer, or if there are recognised IT issues that they've encountered, then these can all be addressed more in a more streamlined fashion. There is a link that can be provided which points students to the EC system and how they can go about looking to see if they can apply using that mechanism, which simply is a screen capture of that screen, if it's one of those. So that's the extent of the evidence that they would need to provide that could be COVID related. And the EC system would then treat those in a far more lenient and more efficient way. Okay, so they're the two elements that we've applied. It's not the same at other universities. Other universities will have adopted their own no detriment policy, and some universities may have chosen not to implement a no detriment policy. Okay, so if you're looking for parity across universities, I'm afraid you won't find it.
Because some students might be on a professional course and they'll be thinking, oh, no detriment will apply to me.
The policy applies using our university regulations. However, we have programs, many programs that are accredited by external bodies, professional bodies. We have reached out to those professional bodies and asked them, having presented them with our no detriment approach for this year, how many of them would be supportive of that and how many of them would want to insist that they are not applied to their programs for this year. The majority have come back and said that they're happy to apply them. So that's great news. But where a professional body has said that they haven't, we have a list of those. If a student isn't aware or isn't sure whether their program, which is accredited, whether it will have the no detriment policy applied to it, they can contact their program leader, and the program leader should be able to inform them of the programs which will not be part of the no detriment policy. Okay, but even within that, the extenuation process, the EC process, will still be there. So the professional body challenging the approach that we're taking is only with regards to scaling of the marks, okay, where we're comparing to the previous cohorts. The majority, I haven't come across a single PSRB that has said that they're not happy with our EC approach. Okay, so if your program is professionally accredited and you're not sure whether or not they've allowed us to use the no detriment scaling safety net 1, then contact your program leader and they'll be able to give you more information.